So when you want to say half a pizza, in Czech, do you say polovina pici, půl pici, půlka pici, or even Polovička pici? Dobrý den, my name is Zuzka and today we are going to take a look at how to say the word half in Czech. We typically have 4 options: polovina, půl, půlka and polovička. All these 4 words mean half. And today you will learn how similar and how different they are and what we can use these words with. Jdeme na to! Ahoj, vítejte na mém kanále Czech by Zuzka, kde vám pomocí angličtiny vysvětluju českou gramatiku. Before we look at these words one by one, I want to give you a quick overview. Půl, půlka, polovina, polovička, all these 4 mean half. However, there is a small difference. Půl refers to rather an exact half. We often use it when we refer to quantity, the exact half of something, and time, for example. It is a neutral word, it's neither formal or informal. Půlka is informal, it's casual. So půl and půlka are many times interchangeable. Polovina is rather formal or neutral. And polovička, because of the ch, it's actually a diminutive, so we often use it in an affectionate way. It's informal, and many times it refers to our better half, to our partner. And now let's see these words in more detail. Let's start with the word půl, the shortest one. This one is very versatile. It refers to the exact half. It's typical with numbers, with quantities. When we refer to time or measurements, for example, půl hodiny, half an hour, půl hodiny. Čekám tady už půl hodiny. I've been waiting here for half an hour. Čekám tady už půl hodiny. Or when we refer to time, for instance, půl sedmé. Půl sedmé means 6:30, literally half of the 7th hour. Půl sedmé. Vstával jsem v půl sedmé. I got up at 6:30. Vstával jsem v půl sedmé. So if you want to say a half past a certain time, půl is the only option. You cannot use any of the remaining 3 words that I showed you previously. Půl litru. For example, when you cook, you bake something, there will be instructions in the recipe. Budete potřebovat půl litru mléka. You will need half a liter of milk. Půl litru mléka. Půl litru. Půl pici. Half a pizza. Sním jenom půl pici. I'll eat only half a pizza. Půl pici. Sním jenom půl pici. So this is one of the options, referring to my question at the beginning, but there are more. Půl kilometru, half a kilometer. Je to odtud jenom půl kilometru. It's only half a kilometer from here. Je to odtud jenom půl kilometru. Půl roku, half a year. Bydlím tady už půl roku. I've been living here for half a year now. Bydlím tady už půl roku. In all these 6 sentences, you could see the word půl being used exactly as it's written here. The base form, půl. And the good news is it always stays like that. Although it can be a noun, it is kind of a fossilized noun. It does not change forms. What you need to know is that půl, because it works like a quantifier, is followed by the genitive case. Půl hodiny, half of the hour. Půl sedmé, half of the 7th hour. Půl litru, half of a liter. Půl pici, half of pizza. Půl kilometru, half of a kilometer. Půl roku, half of a year, literally. So this is all genitive. When we use the word půl, it sounds precise and it's neutral. And one thing to keep in mind, when you use půl, there cannot be any other number in front. or any quantifier that would tell us how much a certain amount of a half doesn't exist. It's just half. However, we cannot say like a first half. If you want to say first half, the second half, this is not the word you can use. Půl cannot be preceded by a number. You cannot say jeden půl, dvě půl. What you can use would be jeden a půl, 1.5. Or for example, if you want to say 1 hour and a half, it would be hodina a půl. So půl can be preceded by a, but not a number or a quantifier. Hodina a půl, jeden a půl. So that is půl. Very frequently used. Now the word půlka. Půlka is informal. It is related to půl, as you can see. When you look at it, the ka is very typical for diminutives or informal words, so that's why it is informal. Many times it is interchangeable with půl, except for the time, for example, and some other things. It translates to the half. It is a noun and it has cases, and we can use it with numbers. We could say dvě půlky, 2 halves, první půlka, druhá půlka, first half, second half. We use it in casual informal language, like I said, typically when we talk about splitting food or physical halves. This is one half, this is the other half. Půlka jablka, half an apple, half of the apple. You can see that this is also the genitive case. In fact, all these words have this in common because we say half of something, so it is followed by the genitive case. Dej mi půlku jablka. Give me half an apple. Dej mi půlku jablka. Půlku. Here it's a different case, that's accusative. Půlka pizzy. Now here's the second option, half a pizza. Can be said as půlka pizzy as well. Snědla půlku pizzy. She ate half a pizza. Snědla půlku pizzy. Of course we can say půl jablka and půl pizzy as well. The only difference will be půl doesn't sound as informal. It sounds neutral. První půlka filmu. First half of the movie. První půlka filmu byla lepší. The first half of the movie was better. První půlka filmu byla lepší. So here we can say první půlka. And of course don't forget the genitive case. Půlka pizzy, půlka filmu. Druhá půlka domu, the second half of the house, bydlí v druhé půlce domu. They live in the second half of the house. Bydlí v druhé půlce domu. These two sentences cannot have půl in them because of what's inside the sentence, what's before. For example, here, první půlka filmu byla lepší. První půl filmu sounds off. It is not correct. So when we specify the halves v první půlce, v druhé půlce, it's correct to use půlka, the half. And remember, it is informal. The word půlka is great for conversations. And it also feels like more physical, you know, the first half, the second half, for instance. So when we refer to the physical specific half, that's your word, půlka. Polovina is feminine as well, polovina. This word is neutral and in some context a little formal, and it can also refer to something abstract when we refer to time, like dates and such. We use it in statistics when we talk about groups, for example, half of a certain group. It's used in official language. For example, if you mention centuries and you say the first half of the 20th century, this is what you're gonna use. První polovina 20. století. The first half of the 20th century. V první polovině, it has cases, of course. V první polovině 20. století. In the first half of the 20th century. So you can see polovina can be preceded by numbers or something that would specify it. Can you say první půlka 20. století? You can, but it sounds informal. If you talk about dates and you want to sound formal, you cannot use půlka. Půlka is informal, it's casual language. Druhá polovina týdne. The second half of the week. Or ve druhé polovině týdne. In the second half of the week. Again, polovina sounds formal. You could say druhá půlka týdne. And this is genitive. 20. století, that's genitive. V polovině září. In mid-September. Half of September. V polovině září. Genitive here as well. Rozdělit něco na poloviny. To divide something into halves. Remember, I gave you an example with a movie. The first half of the movie was more interesting. You can use polovina as well, except it will not sound as casual. První polovina filmu byla lepší. The first half of the movie was better. První polovina. Or talking about groups, polovina studentů nepřišla. Half of the students didn't come. And here you can say půlka studentů nepřišla. That's informal. Půl studentů doesn't work. Dvě poloviny tvoří celek. Two halves make a whole. Dvě poloviny tvoří celek. That is polovina. This word works very well with abstract concepts like dates or groups of people, and it is neutral or formal. And finally, the last word, polovička. Polovička is informal because of the čka. It is many times used like a diminutive in informal language. Most commonly it refers to my better half, like a partner. Moje drahá polovička. Literally, my dear half. In English, it's my better half, but in Czech we say moje drahá polovička. Well, you could say moje lepší polovička, but usually it's with drahá, dear. Bez své polovičky nikam nejde. He never goes anywhere without his partner. Bez své polovičky nikam nejde. And sometimes you can also use it for dividing food, for example, in informal language. It's not very common, but you can still hear it every now and then. Polovička čokolády. Half of the chocolate. Každý dostal svou polovičku čokolády. Everyone got their half of the chocolate, their little half of the chocolate. Každý dostal svou polovičku čokolády. It would not be my first choice if I want to say half of something. So polovičku pici is okay, but it's not typical. Now, going back to my initial question, you can use all four of them. I just told you that you could say půl pici, půlka pici, polovina pici, and polovička pici. Půl pici is neutral. Půlka pici is more informal. Polovina pici, again, is neutral or a little formal. Polovička pici is informal and not that common. Remember that when we talk about time, half past a certain hour, in Czech we use půl, that's the only one. Půl jedné, půl druhé, půl třetí. Or typically when you talk about first half of a century, for example, that's polovina, první polovina 20. století. And the rest is pretty much interchangeable. It depends on the speaker. It can depend on you. What is it that you want to use and how do you want to sound? Let's practice with an exercise. By the way, I'm reading this very thick book and I am probably halfway through it. So I could say jsem v půlce. That's one way. Jsem v půlce. Jsem v polovině. That's just a little more formal. Jsem v polovině. Jsem v polovičce. I would not really use. And I would not use půl. Your task is to complete the sentences with one of the four words. Many times you will have more than one option. Pause the video to have enough time to think about this. And we're gonna check it. Číslo 1. To je jen polovina pravdy. Polovina, or also půlka pravdy. With the difference that půlka pravdy is more informal. Číslo 2. Potřebujeme půl kila mouky. Půl kila mouky. And that's the only option. We don't say polovičku, polovinu or půlku. Just půl kila as a measurement. Číslo 3. Polovina zaměstnanců pracuje z domova. Polovina, more neutral or slightly formal. Půlka also. Půlka zaměstnanců. Informal. Číslo 4. Jsme v půlce cesty, jsme v polovině cesty. Nemůžeme se vrátit. V půlce is more informal than v polovině. Číslo 5. Dejte drahé polovičce také prostor pro její koníčky. Drahé polovičce. Here, this is the only option. A číslo 6. Od půlky července budu mít víc času. Od půlky července, that's informal. Od poloviny července, slightly more formal. Possibly od polovičky července. Some people use it. Let me know how you did. And if you have any questions regarding specific words, how we can use them with these words, just drop a comment. Budu se těšit, I'll be looking forward. Na viděnou příští týden. Ahoj!